Hello, my name is Brianna Stewart, and I wanted to introduce my information literacy project on Padlet. I was originally going to show my Padlet, but as I was continuing to play around with it, I realized there is a slideshow, and I really like that aspect. So I'm going to show the slideshow because it kind of correlates with how I set up my Padlet. So, my idea for the Padlet or the Information Literacy Project was students will work as a group of three or more to create a presentation for their classmates. And so, the presentation is going to be about the digital research tools available to help with research for their upcoming science fair project to assist with research in the classroom and at home when students are unable to come to the library. So I said science fair project and I put it in quotes because I just chose any project to kind of help lead where I was going with this when I'm talking to the students about it. But it can be anything. It can be autobiography project or a biography project or any project that you have for students who come into your library. So in all, it is a project where you can put them in groups where they're going to research any of the resources, the digital resources available to them. Because I know a lot of school districts, students are able to go to the library either weekly or bi-weekly. So my rationale is whenever they're in the classroom or they're at home and they want to continue their research, they can log on to their single sign-on application, whichever one that may be, and they'll feel more comfortable knowing how to navigate the websites that are available to them. So they had to research at least five tools to help them with research and at least two tools that will help them with presenting their projects. So they need to know when they're presenting it to their classmates the purpose and the benefits of using the tools. The standard that I feel like it correlates with is collaborate number three, and create. And then the one that I chose, or the strand that I chose, was learners participate in personal, social, and intellectual networks by using a variety of communication tools and research. And number two, establishing connections with other learners to build on their own prior knowledge and create new knowledge. So, number two was the one I really felt connected with my particular project because I felt like number one, they're establishing a connection with their classmates by presenting this to them. And they're going to present tools on their single sign on login that the students may have already been exposed to, and they're also going to teach them things that they haven't been exposed to. And then the discussion question that I'm going to have when I introduce this project is why is it important for you to teach your classmates safe tools that they can research? So I think this was great because I want them to understand that, hey, not only is your librarian knowledgeable in this, but also your classmates. So I think it would be a great idea for maybe third graders to teach second graders the different tools that are available to them, or fourth and fifth graders teaching third, whichever way you want to set it up. I think it would be really cool because I think students would also be a little bit more excited and open to receiving the information from their peers. So, the first tool that I wanted to introduce to students was Fact Monster. And one of the reasons that I love this is it is a research search engine, but it is a way to kind of introduce students to Google without necessarily throwing them out to Google and exposing them to any form of a link or page or website without them knowing the difference between a safe source or a safe website and a not safe website. Google can be very overwhelming, and on students' journey to learning about safe and credible sources, we can do that and kind of narrow it down in one area like Fact Monster. And it has so many different topics. It's not just math or science geared, it's all topics. The second one that students may be familiar with is Brain Pop Junior. There's Brain Pop and Brain Pop Junior, but I felt like for third grade, Junior would work a little bit better. And it's just it's a great way for students to get a short introduction to a topic to see if it even piques their interest. So maybe they were originally interested in force and motion. They got some information. They decided, you know what, I think I'm more interested in states of matter, or I'm more interested in learning about Amelia Earhart. So I love Brain Pop Junior for that. And they also have quizzes just to kind of test and have students play around with the knowledge that they learn. The second tool would be Pebble Go. It's one of my favorites for many reasons, and it provides students with books, videos, printables, maps, timelines, and one of the best things that it has is it has a space where students can get the sources cited. And that is a great way for us as librarians to pause and tell students, hey, it is so important to not only learn the information, but give credit to the person that did the research. So it provides sources for students to cite. It's right there. Students can print it. And the only other source they would really have to cite is the actual PebbleGo website. Another reason I love this website is it has the accommodation of reading to students. So any student who has, text to speech, that it's already providing for them. Another source or tool students can use to help with their research is Kiddle. So again, it's like Fact Monster, except it kind of looks like Google a little bit more. It's just a safe way to kind of ease students into later on, far down the line, using Google. It's just a great way to kind of narrow down how students search online. It's kid friendly. I believe it does have advertisements, but it has kid-friendly advertisement. It's also a great way for their classmates to include in their project or presentation how to make sure you are focused only on your research. Please don't click on any ads. You don't know what the ads will lead to or anything like that. The second one is Discovery Education, and students would incorporate this because it has videos, it has interactive components, it has quizzes, it has a wide variety of topics, including digital citizenship. So how to be responsible online, how to find credible sources, how to be safe online, how to report anything that that should not be on your particular website or search engine or what have you. So I really love Discovery Education for those different components and the wide variety of topics. The next one is National Geographic Kids, and this website is geared more towards science or social studies, but I still think it's a great resource for students to explore a credible page without necessarily going to the adult version of the page. So National Geographic Kids, it's a really fun website and a great search engine. The next one is Kid Rex. Now, it'll pop up as either Kid Rex or Kid Search, but either way, it's another fabulous way to introduce students to Google, introduce them to typing in keywords and making sure those keywords correlate to what they're looking for. The next one is NASA. Again, this one is geared more towards planets or space, but since it is a quote-unquote science fair project, I thought it was a great way to include a kid version of a website that adults also use. So it's a great way to kind of introduce scientists or any science content that students may have to do. And then I also mentioned earlier that students have to do at least 2 presentation tools. So the first one, of course, is Canva. And some third graders start using Canva this year. Some use it in second, some students use it in fourth. But either way, I just wanted to include a beginner video. I know there are tons of videos, but here is a beginner video on how to use Canva as a way to present their information to their classmates. The second presentation tool is Book Creator. So I thought this was a great tool because it is literally a book that you can provide the link for students to go back and look at. So it's not just a presentation where it'll just kind of go away, and students can access it if they kind of go look for it. Book Creator, you can kind of keep it, you can maybe print it or leave it there, and it's a great way for when second graders come in and they're like, oh my goodness, I forgot that website that student told me about. They can come to the book, go through it, flip through it really quick, and that's a great way for them to remember the different websites and their purpose that their classmate told them. And then the last one of my favorites, I have a lot of favorites, is Google Slides. So Google Slides is tried and true. I just included a introduction video for students on how to use Google Slides because, again, I don't want to assume that all students come in knowing how to use Google Slides. A lot do, but most don't. So it's just a video for them to understand how to organize the information that they're going to present when doing this project. And then the last thing is for me when I'm presenting it to the students. So Citations is just a quick article on one of the search engines that I mentioned earlier on the importance of citing your source. So this is also just a great way to show students why this is such a great tool to use when doing their research. So it's just Citation Facts for Kids. Quickly explains why it's important to cite your source and why it's important to find credible sources. So again, my name is Brianna Stewart, and my project was over students, my information literacy project was over students creating a presentation to present to their classmates the different tools that they can use for research at home if they were doing any kind of project. I just use Science Fair, but any form of project when they're either in the classroom or they're at home and they can't come to the library at that time. So I just thought that was a really great way to do the third collaborate, create standard. Because again, we're creating those connections, and not only those connections in that particular grade level, but this can be a presentation again that I mentioned earlier. Third grade can give to second, fourth can give to third, fifth, so on and so forth. So again, my name is Brianna Stewart, and that was my project. Thank you.